you for coming here, but I wanted to make a quick comment. When you said that you can go into a hospital and they won't deny you, so what will usually happen is when a hospital, when you have no insurance, they will go in and they will stabilize you. You see this in a lot of cancer patients. They really don't treat the issue, and then you go back on the street, and usually you get to an ER and you continue to cycle until you die. Another thing you commented about was innovation.
Before we move on to that second point, I should like to point out that we have a robust social safety net for the elderly and the poor. And so one question would be why those people, if they can't afford insurance and they haven't been able to rectify their employment situation or whatever else is keeping it from them, aren't on the very robust and generous Medicaid systems in this country. As I will point out, I have a lot of friends who are actors. They refer to welfare programs as the federal arts subsidy. I am not joking about that. And a lot of them are able to use these welfare programs. A lot of us would consider that abuse. I don't begrudge it to them. I just point it out to show how generous and how accessible our healthcare subsidies and safety net programs are.
So with that said, Mitch McConnell's already come out and said after the midterms that the Republicans are going to start looking to cut Social Security.
He said he's going to cut them or he's going to reform them?
Probably cut. He's got to make
probably,
some cut. What reform in any political talk is cut.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Certainly we have to reform the entitlement programs because they're unsustainable and they are the driver of our debt and deficits. They'll bankrupt the entire country. We already have a very high debt to GDP ratio. This isn't going to be solved by taking a $100 tax refund out of middle class pockets. This is going to be solved by reforming these massive programs that have grown wildly out of control. And that's what adults are going to have to do if we're governed by adults. And that's the difference that is being shown to us in these elections, is there is one group of people who are saying that we're going to give everything away from free. And you say, well, Miss Ocasio-Cortez, where are you going to get that $40 trillion? And she says, well, you know, I'm not the expert on these things. You don't say, truer words have never been spoken. And then you have another group that says, look, things cost money and we're going to have to deal seriously with these programs. I think that the American people are smart, and I think that they're going to reward behaving like adults, especially as we have this childish idiocy at restaurants, at people's homes, in the streets. That's not how adults behave, and I think that fortunately we're headed toward a more adult politics.
So if you reform or cut those programs, you have more people who are uninsured. I just want to make that statement.
Excuse me,
so
repeat
unless
that?
you're fixing the issue of health care and you're just reforming these and cutting them off, people have paid into Social Security and Medicare, and one of the solutions is to raise the cap. So if you reform these and start putting people off, you just create a public health crisis.
When have we said that we're going to kick people off of Medicaid or Medicare? Show me that proposal.
You can just prevent people from getting it when they're 65. So now you have an elderly population that doesn't have any health insurance. Do you just say, hey, you have to work at McDonald's or work at Walmart?
To which proposal are you referring that will take Medicare away from 65-year-olds?
I'm not saying you will. You'll just say you'll stop preventing people.
You are. You're predicting it.
So you'll say the cutoff
I'm telling you it's not going to happen.
Medicare right
what
now
what happens if Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny both descend before our...
65, sorry, no Medicaid. So what do we do?
Well, I certainly won't elect you because you're going to take away my grandma's Medicare. But I'm not going to elect you. I don't like your proposal one little bit.
Medicare to everyone.
I'm sorry. What's your proposal?
I would love to expand it to everyone.
All right. And where are you going to get that $40 trillion?
You know what? For starters, I'd probably raise the income tax in the 1950s, since the Republicans loved to say, oh, the golden age was.
What income tax rate do you propose? Because you'd have to double tax receipts annually to the government. So where are you going to get that money from?
From probably.